It happened at my brother David's house during Sunday dinner. A casual family gathering, nothing special. 20 people scattered between the kitchen, dining room, and back patio. Adults drinking wine and catching up while the kids ran around playing. My daughter Emma was 7 years old. Shy, sweet, the kind of kid who colored pictures for people and left them as surprises. She'd brought a drawing she'd made for my niece Brittany, who was 15. I was in the kitchen with my mother when I heard laughter from the dining room. The kind of laughter that has an edge to it. The kind that makes you pay attention. I walked to the doorway and saw Emma standing there holding her plate, looking confused. Brittany and her 2 neighborhood friends were sitting at the dining table. The kids' table, supposedly, though Brittany had declared herself too old for the children's table and had claimed it for her friend group instead. I said you can't sit here, Brittany was telling Emma. This table is for actual people, not little babies. I just want to eat dinner, Emma said quietly, her voice small. Then go eat in the garage where the pets belong. Brittany waved her hand dismissively. That's where we put things that don't matter. The 2 other girls laughed. So did my brother David, who was standing right there getting another beer from the refrigerator. My uncle Richard chuckled from the patio doorway. My sister-in-law Jennifer smiled and shook her head like it was all very amusing. Emma looked around at the adults, waiting for someone to tell Brittany she was wrong. Waiting for someone to protect her. No one did. Go on, Brittany said. The garage is through there. I watched my 7-year-old daughter walk through the kitchen toward the garage door, carrying her plate of food and the drawing she'd made for her cousin. She looked back once, her eyes finding mine. I saw the confusion in her face. The hurt. The question, why isn't anyone stopping this? I pulled out my phone and followed her. The garage was cold and smelled like motor oil and grass clippings. Emma had set her plate down on David's workbench, next to a pile of tools and a bag of fertilizer. He was trying not to cry. I took several photos. Emma sitting on the concrete floor next to the lawnmower holding her plate. The workbench with her dinner next to the gardening supplies. A wider shot showing the garage in context with the door to the warm house visible in the background. Then I went back inside and took one more photo. The dining room full of adults talking and laughing, none of them concerned about where a 7-year-old had gone. Come on, sweetheart, I said quietly to Emma. We're going home. I gathered our things without explanation. David called after us. Leaving so soon? Yes. Everything okay? No, I said. But we're leaving anyway. Emma cried in the car. Not loud, dramatic crying, but the quiet kind that's somehow worse. The kind where a child is trying to understand what they did wrong. Why did Brittany say I belong in the garage? She asked. Because Brittany was being cruel and the adults let her be cruel. Did I do something bad? No, baby. You didn't do anything wrong. Then why did everyone laugh? I didn't have a good answer for that. How do you explain to a 7-year-old that sometimes family members enable cruelty because it's easier than confrontation? That some people matter more in family dynamics than others, and she and I had always been in the category that mattered less? At home, I got Emma settled with hot chocolate and her favorite movie. Once she was calm, I looked at the photos I'd taken. Clear evidence of what had happened. Visual proof that couldn't be disputed or minimized later. Then I pulled up my banking app and canceled the automatic payment scheduled for the next morning. David's mortgage payment. $4,100 that had been coming from my account every month for the past 6 years. It had started after his divorce. Jennifer was his second wife, and the first one had taken half of everything in the settlement. David had called me panicking. He was going to lose the house. Brittany would have to change schools. Could I help just temporarily, just until he got his finances sorted? 6 years. $73,200 per year. $439,200 total. Not to mention the property tax payments I'd quietly handled twice a year. Another $15,000 annually. I'd never asked him to pay me back. He was my brother. Family helps family. That's what we do. Except apparently family also laughs when your daughter is told she belongs in a garage with the pets. The next morning, Monday, my phone buzzed at 8:30. David's text, "Hey, mortgage payment is due today. Just wanted to make sure it went through okay." I attached the photos to a message and typed, "Pets don't pay bills." The phone started ringing within 30 seconds. I declined the call. It rang again. Declined again. Then texts started flooding in. "What are you talking about? Did you cancel the payment? This isn't funny." Call me right now. I waited an hour, long enough for him to check his bank account and confirm the payment hadn't gone through. Long enough for the reality to set in. Then I called him back. Jennifer, what the hell is going on? You let your daughter tell mine that she belongs in the garage where the pets belong. Then you laughed about it. So I've decided that since pets don't pay bills, I'm done paying yours. That was just kid stuff. Brittany was joking around. Brittany is 15 years old. Emma is 7. There's no joking around when a teenager humiliates a child and adults stand there laughing. You're blowing this way out of proportion. Emma's fine. Emma cried herself to sleep last night asking me what she did wrong. She's not fine. So you're going to destroy my life over some kid drama? I'm going to stop funding your life after you demonstrated that my daughter's dignity matters less to you than getting a laugh. There's a difference. I can't make this mortgage payment on my own. You know that. Then you should have thought about that before you treated my child like she was worthless. It was one time. One stupid comment from a teenager. It was one time that I watched happen. How many times has Brittany been cruel to Emma when I wasn't there? How many times have you dismissed it or encouraged it or laughed about it? Silence on his end, an answer in itself. The payment is due today, he said finally. Late fees start tomorrow. Then you'd better figure something out. Jennifer, please. Don't do this. Brittany made a mistake. We'll talk to her. She'll apologize to Emma. You had the chance to talk to her yesterday. You chose to laugh instead. We're family. Exactly. We're family. Which means you should have protected Emma like she was your own daughter. But you didn't. So now you get to figure out how family works when the person you've been using decides to stop letting you. He hung up on me. Within an hour, my phone was lighting up with calls from other family members. Mom, Uncle Richard, David's friend Marcus, who apparently heard about the situation. All of them had the same message. I was overreacting, being vindictive, punishing the whole family for one incident. I sent all of them the same photos I'd sent David. The image of Emma sitting in that garage, alone, holding her dinner plate next to a bag of fertilizer while her family ate and laughed inside the house. My mother called back after seeing the photos. I didn't realize, she said quietly. You were there, Mom. I was in the kitchen. I didn't see where Emma went. You heard Brittany tell her to go to the garage. You heard people laughing. I thought they were just teasing. Look at the photo. Does that look like teasing to you? He was crying. I'm so sorry. I should have paid more attention. I should have said something. Yes, you should have. But you didn't. And now David is going to learn that actions have consequences. He'll lose the house. Then he'll lose the house. People live in smaller places all the time. It builds character. Jennifer, he's your brother. And Emma is my daughter. He comes first. Always. David missed the payment that day. And the next month's payment too. By week 3, the bank was sending default notices. He tried to refinance without me as a co-borrower, but his credit wasn't good enough and his income couldn't support the loan amount. He tried to get a personal loan to cover a few months while he figured things out, but no bank would lend him $50,000 unsecured. He put the house on the market 6 weeks after the incident. It sold fast. The market was good and it was a nice property in a decent neighborhood. They cleared about $80,000 after paying off the mortgage and closing costs. David and Jennifer moved to a rental house in a less expensive area. Smaller, older, but adequate. Brittany had to change schools. No more private academy with the good arts program. The public high school was fine, just not prestigious. My mother tried to mediate several times. She'd invite both of us to her house and try to facilitate a conversation. David would apologize for not intervening fast enough. Jennifer would apologize for laughing. Brittany wrote a letter to Emma saying she was sorry for being mean. But none of them could answer the question that mattered. Why did they think it was okay in the first place? We just weren't thinking, David said. That's the problem. You didn't think because you didn't have to think. Emma's feelings were never important enough to defend. That's not true. Then why did everyone laugh when a 15-year-old told a 7-year-old she belongs with the pets? Why did no one stop it? Why did I have to find my daughter eating alone in a garage while you all had a nice family dinner? He didn't have an answer. 3 months after the incident, I took Emma to therapy. She was having nightmares and struggling with social situations at school. The therapist said she'd developed anxiety around family gatherings. It would take time and work to help her feel secure again. I sent David the therapy bills, not asking him to pay them, just making sure he saw the cost of what happened. 6 months later, my mother asked if we could try a family dinner again. Small, just her and Dad and Emma and me. David and his family wouldn't be there. I want Emma to know that some family is safe, Mom said. That not everyone will hurt her. We tried it. Emma was nervous at first, but my mother was patient and kind. She talked to Emma about the drawing she'd brought that day, the one meant for Brittany that never got delivered. She asked if Emma would make her one instead. You matter to me, Grandma told her. Your drawings matter. Your feelings matter. You matter more than any house or any amount of money or keeping the peace. I'm sorry I didn't show you that when I should have. Emma made her a drawing. It was of our family, but it was different from the family portraits she used to draw. This one had just Emma and me and Grandma and Grandpa. The 4 of us. No one else. This is who loves me, Emma explained. And my heart broke a little, but I also felt something like relief. He understood now. She understood that love isn't about blood relation or obligation. It's about who protects you. Who sees you as worthy of protection. A year after the incident, David called me. Not about money, just to talk. Brittany's in therapy too, he said. She's been having a hard time with the move and the new school. The therapist asked her about family dynamics and she talked about that Sunday. About what happened with Emma. Okay. She said she was mean to Emma because Jennifer and I always talked about you like you were less than us. Like you were the one we had to help and support. Like we were doing you a favor. You were doing me a favor? That's how we framed it. Jennifer would say things like, at least we can help your sister out. Or, it's good that we can give her purpose by letting her help us. Like we were being charitable by letting you pay our mortgage. I almost laughed. Almost. You're just realizing this now? The therapist pointed out that Brittany learned from us that you and Emma were less important. That it was okay to treat you badly because we treated you badly, we just did it more subtly. Did you call to tell me this or to apologize? Both, I guess. I'm sorry. Really sorry. Not because I lost the house, though that sucked. But because I treated you like you existed to serve me. And I taught my daughter to do the same thing. And Emma got hurt because of it. Yes. She did. Is there any way to fix this? I don't know, David. Emma's 7 years old and she already knows what it feels like to be treated like she doesn't matter. That's going to stay with her. The question is whether she also learns that people can change and do better. I want to do better. Then do better. Not for my benefit, for Brittany's. Teach her something better than what you taught her before. We hung up. I didn't know if it meant anything, if he'd really change or if it was just words. But I knew that Emma was safe now. That she had people who would protect her. That she understood her worth wasn't determined by people who laughed when she was hurt. The photos from that Sunday stayed on my phone. I looked at them sometimes not to remember the hurt, but to remember the moment I chose my daughter over everything else. The moment I decided that being family wasn't enough if family meant accepting cruelty. Emma was 8 now. She still drew pictures, but she was more careful about who she gave them to. She'd learned discernment the hard way. I wished she hadn't had to learn that lesson so young. But I was grateful she'd learned it while I was still there to show her she deserved better. Sometimes protecting your child means cutting off the money. Sometimes it means cutting off the family. Sometimes love looks like boundaries other people call cruel. But I'd seen cruelty. I'd photographed it. I knew the difference. Every single time I chose Emma.